With interest today. I agree so much with what Senator Sass said. I listened today, and it's no wonder to me that so many Americans think that the United States Supreme Court is nothing more than a little Congress, a political body like the United States Senate. Let me try to explain what I'm looking for in a Supreme Court justice. I want a judge. I don't want a politician. Now, I'm not naive. It's true, Senator Booker and I are new to the Senate. We didn't come here when Moses walked the earth. But we're not new to politics. And I understand that human relations are about politics. I get that. But I don't think our founders ever intended for the United States Supreme Court to become a political body. I don't. I'm not looking for an ideologue. I'm not looking for a hater. What I am looking for is somebody who is whip smart, who's intellectually curious, who writes cleanly and crisply, who knows what a semicolon is for, and who is willing to protect the United States Constitution and the Bill of Rights and understands that the Bill of Rights is not an a la carte menu. Every one of them counts. Let me try to explain further why I agree with so much of what Senator Sass said. This is not a news flash. Our country is divided. We've been divided before. We'll be divided again. We will survive this. But I confess the division in our country today seems to me to be especially sharp. And what concerns me so much about that division is the basis for it. It's not honest disagreement. So much of it is anger. There have been thousands, millions of pages written about the genesis of that anger. We all have opinions. You know what they say about opinions. Here's mine. I think a big part of the anger in America today is because we have too many Americans who aren't sharing in the great wealth of this country. Not economically, not socially, not culturally, and not spiritually. And those Americans believe that the American dream has become the American game and that game is fixed. Let me give you one example why I say that. I don't hear it so much today. I'm biased, but I happen to think the Tax Cuts and Jobs Bill Act worked. But when I ran 2 years ago, I would hear it every single day. People would stop me and they would say, Kennedy, you know what's wrong with us economically? They would tell me, I look around, Kennedy, and I see too many undeserving people. I emphasize undeserving. I don't want to paint with too broad a brush. They would tell me, Kennedy, I look around and I see too many undeserving people at the top getting bailouts. And I see too many undeserving people at the bottom getting handouts. And I'm here just a working smuck in the middle, stuck in the middle, and I can't pay the freight anymore because my health insurance has gone up and my kids' tuition has gone up and my taxes have gone up, but I tell you what hadn't gone up, my income. Now, I happen to think we're doing better in that regard, but we've still got to work a long way to go. But here's the point. Who's supposed to fix that for the American people? It's us. It's the United States Congress. It's not the United States Supreme Court that's supposed to fix this country. culturally, economically, socially, spiritually. And that's why I say I agree with so much of what Senator Sass said. It's almost become cliche, but the role of a judge is, or at least should be, to say what the law is, not what the law ought to be. Now, it's become cliche, but cliches become cliches because they're true. Judges are not put there to try to bypass the ballot. Courts should not try to fix problems that are within the province of the United States Congress, even if the United States Congress doesn't have the courage to address those problems. Our courts were not meant to decide these kind of issues. I'm not naive. I know that judges aren't robots. We can't replace you and shouldn't try to replace you with a software program based on artificial intelligence. You have discretion. We're going to talk about that if we ever get to the questioning part of this exercise. But I want to say it again. I understand why, listening today, that so many Americans believe that the law, which I think all of us revere, has become politics just pursued in another way. It's not the way it's supposed to be, Judge. That's not what I'm looking for. Now, I'm going to end. I still got plenty of time left. I think I have 2 hours allotted, Mr. Chairman. Somebody talked about, said they'd seen this movie before. I commented to my friend Senator Tillis, this thing's as long as a movie. These are the words of Justice Curtis. In 1857, when he dissented in the Dred Scott case. When a strict interpretation of the Constitution, according to the fixed rules which govern the interpretation of laws, is abandoned, and the theoretical opinions of individuals are allowed to control its meaning, we have no longer a Constitution. We're under the government of individual men who for the time being have power to declare what the Constitution is, according to their own views of what it ought to mean. That's not the rule of law. Justice Scalia put it another way, and I truly will end with that. He said the American people love democracy, and the American people are not fools. The people know their value judgments are quite as good as those taught in any law school, maybe better. Value judgments, after all, should be voted on, not dictated. And that's what I'm looking for, Judge.